little overview first. We're going to talk about the Bates method. One of the most important things about seeing better is relaxing and not trying to see better. You have muscles around the eye that we'll go into more detail later. And when you have a lot of tension, you can't actually focus the way you're supposed to. So it's a way of focusing without stressing. So we're going to teach you how to breathe and things like that. We're going to go over some relaxation techniques, like I said, stretches and exercise. We're actually going to break this into a two-part series. So we're going to go over nutrition and chiropractic and how it applies to vision next month, because there's so many different exercises, relaxation and whatnot. And then we're going to do a little summary later. A little bit about William Bates. He was an ophthalmologist back in the 1800s. This was out in New York, and revolutionary guy. People loved him. He had super happy patients. He was prescribing, glasses, contact. I don't know if they had contacts back then, but glasses, and just was trying to fix them the old school way. And for whatever reason, nobody knows, he decided, I think there's a better way. So he decided to start giving exercises to his patients, and they started getting so much better without the glasses. And he said, I think the glasses are kind of like a crutch, and it keeps the eyes from actually being dynamic the way they're supposed to be and being able to focus like they need to. So he started doing these exercises and came out with this Bates technique. And some of his students actually got in some serious trouble back in the 40s and 70s. Margaret Corbett, she actually went to court twice for practicing medicine without a license. And if you know anything about chiropractic, that's kind of something that we had to experience in the early stages too. But luckily, that all got dismissed, and so she got out no problem. And then M.H. McKay was a PhD that did his dissertation in 1978 on the Vision Training Institute. And he found some really good results, especially in older individuals, that they thought, oh, it's old age, you're not going to be able to see. I don't mean to look at you, Gary, I'm sorry. But they thought it was just old. They just thought it was old age, and that was why you would actually start to lose your vision. And he found 3 different individuals in this study, in this 2-year period, that were in their 60s that started doing really well, even with the exercises, regardless of their age. So that was really enticing and exciting. But more importantly for me, I like The Brave New World. Anybody read that book, The Brave New World? Yeah, that individual, when he was younger, for 18 months, he suffered from keratitis and was almost totally blind in one eye, and he could only see vague images in the other. And he actually was a student of Margaret Corbett's, which was interesting. And after training with her, he went on to write his own book all about vision, because he was just amazed. He said without glasses, he called them spectacles back then, but without spectacles, he could read at least twice as well as he did when he wore his glasses before, after doing these techniques. And that's just a little part of what we're going to talk about. And then, of course, you have the American Academy of Ophthalmology in 2004 and the Christchurch Hospital in New Zealand in 2005 that said, oh, it doesn't work, this is crazy. But I'm here to tell you personally, I've done it myself, so I know it does work. So take it for what you want. So now me, I've worn glasses since the 8th grade. When I was in the 2nd or 3rd grade, I used to think that people that wore glasses were really smart. And so I was like, I want to look smart. And so I want to wear glasses. My mom and dad were like, no, just slow down. You'll get your glasses probably eventually. I also wanted braces too, but they didn't go for that either. So I don't know, I just liked them. But so I always wanted glasses. And then it wasn't until the 8th grade that they said, okay, I think you need glasses. And unfortunately, fortunately, I don't have a picture of me wearing those glasses, because they were huge, big, covered my whole face glasses back in the 80s. And I thought it was great, didn't think there was anything wrong with it. And I started wearing them, but then when I was playing football, I started playing football a lot in the 9th and 10th grade, and you can't really wear those glasses, and you don't want to get those goggles. It looks kind of funny. And so I wore contacts, and it was miserable, because I'm the kind of guy that always touches his face, and so I was always like touching my eyes and trying to make sure the contacts were in the right place, and I had to use the solution and all that stuff, and it was just a nightmare. So I said, there has to be a better way. And ironically, of course, once I learned these exercises, I didn't need my glasses anymore, but I wasn't playing football anymore, because it was like 2 years ago. So, what are you going to do? So here we go. Halloween's coming up, so we got a cool little eyeball picture. So we have the 6 different muscles of the eye. And the reason that we're showing you this is because, and we're going to have a slide next, it's going to show you exactly how vision works. So as we know, you have the lens that the light comes in through the lens, and then it focuses it on the back of the eye on the retina. And if it's good vision, then it's going to be right there on the retina, in the fovea centralis is the focal point. But If the eyeball is a different shape, if it's too long and it focuses in front of it, then you're going to be nearsighted. And if it focuses behind where the retina is because it's too tight and it's narrow like this, so it focuses it back behind where the retina would be, then that's farsightedness. And so it's all about the tension. So that's like I was talking about before with tension. If you have any kind of like the oblique muscle that pulls the eye down or it pulls it out and up, then that's going to change the shape of the eyeball itself. So that's what we're focusing on with these exercises, is the actual changing the shape of the eyeball so we can make sure the retina and the screen, so to speak, that everything is focusing on is at the right distance from the lens. And this is what I was just talking about. So you see here, normal, it focuses directly on the fovea centralis here. If it's farsighted, it's focusing it behind the eyeball itself, behind the retina, so that means that it's squished, for lack of a better word, it's squished this way. And then if it's too long, because the other muscles are pulling it in different directions, then you're going to be nearsighted and it's going to be focused here in front of where it should be focused on. And these exercises are going to show us how to relax those muscles and fix that problem. Now there's a lot of stuff going on in this little cartoon we have here, but I know the majority of you are patients already, and we do a lot of the work on the cranial bones. And when you work on the back right here, that's where the visual center is, and you can see this right back here, the visual cortex. So you have the vision comes in, goes to the retina here, goes down to the optic nerve, and then it comes around and gets processed by the visual cortex. So if you have pressure back here on the occiput, the back of the skull, or anywhere along those ridges where the bones fuse, then that's going to affect the circulation to this area. And of course that's going to affect your vision. And that's not good. But we're not talking about chiropractic this time. Next time we're going to get more specific. So now, tension is the main cause, as I said. So now we're going to focus on breathing. Now patients of the office are going to know how to breathe, but when you take a deep breath in, you're going to put your hand on your belly. So everybody put your hand on your belly. And when you take a deep breath in, take a deep breath in through the nose. The belly should go out, your shoulders shouldn't go up, and then out through your mouth, okay? No yawning. So that's how we breathe as children. It's diaphragmatic breathing. So you breathe in, belly goes out. It doesn't look very good, but that's okay. Some of us show a little more than others. And then breathe out through the mouth. So it's in, belly goes out through the mouth. And if you do this for 3 or 4 minutes before you start any of these exercises, it's going to help the results immensely because you have to make sure you're nice and relaxed. Now stretches as well are also important. So what you can do is you can just tilt your head to the side like this, and you can feel the stretch on this side, and you can go the other side, and if you feel any pops or anything, that's fine. That's just pressure releasing. And then you can go back like that. And then you can also grab your hands like this in the front and just kind of go around, and don't hit anybody in front of you. Go around in a circle like that a few times. That helps loosen up the upper extremities and the shoulders. And then you go the other direction. So the whole point of this, and you're always breathing while you're doing that, in through the nose and out through the mouth. So that helps get you nice and relaxed so that you don't want any tension in the neck when you're trying to do these exercises. And now the first one actually is called the sway. And what you do is you're focused on an object there, and you kind of lean one side and lean the other side. And you notice that when you lean this way, the objects you're looking at are going to move the opposite way. So when I lean to the left, it looks like the camera's moving to the right. And when I lean to the right, it looks like it's moving to the left. And if you hold your thumb up and do that as well, it's even more obvious, because when it's closer to your eyes, it makes it more obvious which direction it's moving. So it's counter to the direction that you're moving. And so that helps your brain to process it better. And on a more advanced note, we're going to do what we call the long swing. So you're standing here just like this, and then you turn this way, and you relax the whole time, turn this way. And we'll do a workshop next time so everybody can do this, but I'm just demonstrating, so it's amazing. And you turn this way, and you just like that, and you're just relaxed and just letting everything go by. You're not trying to focus on anything in particular. And that is one of the really fun ones. The next one's my favorite though. The cross crawl, and we've talked about this in the office as well, because whenever you use a cross crawl mechanism, when you're doing the shoulder exercises like this, it's the cross crawl mechanism. When you do the knees, you're doing the feet, alternating sides, and that works on the brain and helps to stimulate it so that it's going to heal faster. So with this, you're looking straight ahead, and you can bring a hand down, You have to make sure you haven't had any adult beverages when you do this. And it's just like that, deep breathing. And I'm wearing boots too. And so you just do that deep breathing and incorporate the motion, and the more you can stimulate the brain while you're doing the deep breathing and the motion, the more it's going to help the eyes to work better. And so another thing we're going to talk about later is called the lazy 8. And so what you can do is you do this exercise, and then you trace the infinity sign, so it's like an 8 on its side like this, with your nose. And I can't do that very well right now, but that's a good one too. And so then the next thing is going to be, this is another really great way to get more oxygen to the brain, because as we spoke about earlier with the circulation and the visual cortex in the back of the brain, you need to make sure you're getting plenty of oxygen there. So we did the stretches, and make sure that when you do the stretches in the neck, you don't want to go in a circle, because that does the coupling motion, and there's a lot of points where you can have damage and injure your neck when you do that. So you don't want to do the circles like they used to back in the day. We used to do that with football too, but obviously it was not right. But so now we just do it side to side and back like that. So yawning, why is yawning important? When you yawn, it's contagious for one thing, but it really forces a lot of oxygen into the brain and into the bloodstream, and that's excellent for vision. Now this is one of the basics of the Bates method. It's called palming. So what you would do is you would be sitting like in this chair, and you want to make sure your elbows are supported. You put one hand, your right hand, over the right eye, and put the palm of your hand is right on the cheekbone. You're not pressing on the eyeball, and then you do the left hand like this. And as it shows in the picture, you want to make sure you have your elbows supported like by a pillow or on a table or something like this. You do the deep breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And you have your eyes closed while you're doing this. And at first, you're going to have all kinds of thoughts running through your mind. This is sort of a meditation, which is really, really a good thing, because you're trying to relax the mind, relax the body. So you're breathing in. Try not to hyperventilate. And you're going to see complete blackness. At first, you're going to see different colors and things like that as the rods and cones in your eyes. Those are the cells, specialized cells that pick up picture or images. So the cones do the color and the rods do the black and white. And so you just want to see all black. And if you can visualize black objects like a black piano or a black cat, anything black, doing the breathing, focusing on the black. You can do this, the record, I believe, Dr. Bates had someone did this for 20 hours straight. 20 hours straight, and he had been legally blind before he did this. Did it for 20 hours and was able to see fine after that for, I think, 4 years without having to do it again. I mean, it's crazy. There's all kinds of cases like this. That's why, regardless of what all the other organized people say, oh, it doesn't work, I'm here to tell you it works. Now the next one is even better, because palming, you're focusing on the darkness. Any questions on the palming? No? Okay. You're focusing on the darkness and the total blackness with your eyes closed, nice and relaxed. But the next one is just the opposite. So this is the top secret exercise that I did, sunning. What you do with the sunning, there's a couple of different ways. You can sit there with your eyes closed and say the sun's here. They also have something called skying, where you're looking away from the sun, so in case you want to gradually work your way up. Because we are so used to wearing sunglasses that it doesn't give our eyes the ability to react and focus the way they're supposed to. Plus, when you focus on a computer monitor for a long period of time, the little ciliary muscles that bend that lens, they get really, really tired, and so it makes it harder for us to focus long distance. And so it's the people that work outside and out in the fields, or just work outside in general, they're changing their focus. They're shifting from something near to something far, which is another completely different exercise the Bates method teaches. And that actually helps keep the placidity of the ciliary muscles of the lens, so it can help make sure that you're able to adapt whenever you're reading up close or when you're far away. And I'll talk about shifting right now too before I go into sunning. So with shifting, you know, earlier with the swing back and forth, we were doing the thumb here and going back and forth like so. What you do now, you have your thumb up, like I'm looking here, and there's a car there, and then even further is the other building. And so I can focus on the thumb at first, and then I can shift my vision and focus further away, and then I can focus even further. And you notice as you shift where you focus, everything else gets blurry. So I'm looking at my thumb here, and it's nice and clear, and then I look at the car, and it's almost like my thumb disappears. And then I look even further, and it's like everything else gets blurry too. So that's because whatever you focus on, that's what gets the clearest. And you can even take it down to a smaller level where if you have a letter, we're going to have a Snellen chart, which is all the letters like you test your vision. When you have a big letter in front of you, you don't just focus on the whole letter, because the fovea centralis, where you focus things on the retina, is really, really small, and so you focus on different parts of that letter instead of the whole letter. So say there was a big E here, you'd focus on one little corner here, and then you shift over here, and then shift down here, and eventually you're going to be able to see clearer instead of trying to see all of it all at once, because it's always going to be, man down, we're okay. But it's always going to be a little fuzzy until you train your eyes and the muscles of your eyes to be able to relax and just take it all in without trying. And if your eyes ever get dry and you start to get a headache because you're staring at the computer screen all day, sit there and just take a minute, do the deep breathing, and blink. When you blink, your tears form a contact lens naturally over your eye, and that'll help flush out the toxins, and that helps you to relax and helps you actually to see better. I know, it's true. So back to the sunning. So sunning, you can stand with the sun right here, you're looking at the sun, and then you just turn this way, and you can feel the warmth of the sun, because that helps increase the circulation, the warmth, and you'll feel it cooler on the opposite side. So you can turn this way, and then slowly turn this way, and you're always doing the breathing. And then, like in the picture, you can look at the sun, and instead of moving side to side, you can do your hands. Even doing this with the lights right now, it gives like a strobe light effect. And you can even go, this way, you can go this way, and that helps to stimulate those specialized cones in the back, rods and cones in the back of the retina there. And it's amazing. This is what I did. I did a little more advanced where you actually have your eyes open. And people were like, you're going to burn your retinas, but it's actually, it was fine. I was staring at the sun. I probably looked a little crazy. I was like this because it was really, really bright, and I just was doing like this, and that really helped a lot. I did that for 30 seconds, and I didn't need my glasses for 2.5 years. Wow. And I mean, it was, I still can't believe it. But so it was worth the little struggle for 10, 15, whatever seconds. I'm just like, oh, okay, it hurts, okay. And then I was like, okay. But the thing is, whenever you do that, you have to go from the sunning to the palming again, because you go from the light to the dark, and that helps to really train those muscles to work the best they can. So now I've got a really cool way for everyone to tell. How many people would like to know if somebody's lying to them? Nice. You don't know already? I know, but I don't want to tell you I know. So now this relates to different way where the eyes move and what's going on in the person's brain. So if you ask somebody a question, and FBI interrogators do this all the time, if the person looks up and to the right, they're called micro expressions. If they look up and to the right just for a second, or if they are up there looking like, oh, I don't know, they're actually trying to remember something. But if they look up and to the left, it means they're constructing a story in their mind. Yeah, as they're looking at you. So if they're looking up and to your right, their left, you know what I mean? If they're looking that way, it's bad. And if they look up when they're talking to you, that means you don't smell very good. That's not good. So now we're going to talk about the lazy 8s next. That was another one. It's called tracing. So you trace it with your nose. And so as you're looking at the symbol, you go like this with your nose. You go up and down one way. And you're doing the deep breathing. And you would actually have that image. I can't look at it, but I'm acting like I am. I have eyes in the back of my head. I train so hard. And so you just do like that, and then you can also keep the head still and just do it with the eyes up and around. And just notice how every little part that you're looking at becomes clearer and the rest of it gets a little bit fuzzy. It's just being more the awareness of how your eyes work. And when it is really a pinpoint area, it's so much clearer than if you're trying to see the whole image. Okay, now this is the Snellen chart. Ta-da! So what you would do, how far, let's see, Who's brave and wants to try to read this?
I'm going to get a test soon. I'd like to try it.
You would like O and 10? What are you going to do?
I need to get a test.
Okay, well here, stand right here. What's your name?
Maya.
Maya? Dr. DeWitt, nice to see you. Shh, she's going to test.
I'm getting old now, so I have to.
You're not getting old? No, listen to you. Okay, now cover one eye.
Oh.
Yeah, we're going to see which eye. Well, this is the way you tell which eye is more dominant. Now, what's the lowest line you can read?
Next to the bottom is L, E, F, G, D, F, G, T.
You only missed 3. 3 out of 8. Now switch to the other side.
Oh, now I have to go up a line.
I have to go up a line. Ah, so your left eye is dominant. Okay, go ahead.
F, B, D.
Wait, which line are you reading?
Obviously, I'm getting.
No, is it the one right below the green line or above the red line?
It was right below the green, but let me try the green now that you said that.
Above the green? Okay, no, it's all right.
E, D, F, C, Z, P.
That's excellent. And so now what I'm going to have you do is focus on the E, both eyes open.
Okay.
Focus just up on the left side of the E, the left little corner there, and then shift down to the bottom right corner.
How far? Oh, on
all the way to the bottom right corner, yeah. And then up to the upper right side,
okay.
And then down to the lower left side, and then go back up to the upper left corner, okay. Then down to the middle, and just pick random spots on the E and just look all around it. Make sure you're breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. There you go. Do that a couple more times. You're a very quiet breather. She was breathing. Well, that's good. She'll pass out if she's not breathing. Okay, now you're going to close your eyes. Do the sunning for a second. The palming. Well, my hands are so bright, it's like sunning. So you're going to put your hands like this and do the deep breathing for 3 breaths. Okay, now cover your right eye. Open your left. And try to read the line below.
Oh, I'm going to read the red line.
Oh, good.
D, E, F, P, O, T, E, C.
Perfect. See, and I didn't pay you for that.
Really?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Goodness,
that was very good.
That's my test.
I know. See? See? So it's all about relaxing, especially when you're doing a driver's test. You don't want to be stressed out because you're like, I have to pass or I'm not going to have my license. Just try to do the deep breathing and that palming. You can do sunning too outside the DMV. People wonder what you're doing. So this next one is, especially if you're doing this one, they'll be like, what did that guy take? I don't know about that.
I'll give you a white bird.
All right, this is a really neat one too, and we're going to have this set up next week or next month. All right, this is one of the neatest things ever. You take a string, you can have it can be 5 feet long, 6 feet long, 10 feet long, and put a bead every 6 inches, and you hold it at the level of your nose, and it literally, when you look at the very first bead, because it's based on the binocular ability of your eyes to focus, you look at the first bead, and it's kind of like this one. When you focus on your thumb, you can see the thumb really clearly, but further away is all blurry. When you look at this, it sees that, but then it looks like the string splits in 2. And then you can skip around and go to the next bead, and it looks like an X. And this is one of the freakiest things it's crazy. And you can actually feel the muscles of your eye straining to make this happen, but it's so helpful. And then if you look at the very last bead, it's going to look like an A without the little cross part.
Or a TP.
Or a TP. That works too. And that is what is so, I mean, it's just amazing because, like I said, you hold it up to your nose and you're thinking, oh, whatever, this is silly. But then when you actually do that, you're like, wow, this stuff really works. And it's kind of like the palming and the sunning, they're so simple, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, you don't think, but obviously, she has shown that it does work. But with the bead, it's really interesting because of the way you can focus, and you almost get like an eyeball cramp as you're trying to jump from bead to bead, and you can feel the muscles going, wait, what are you doing? I'm not used to moving like this. Because they're so used to sitting in front of a computer screen and just kind of zoning out for 8 hours. So that's really important when you're sitting at a computer. We have the neck curve exercise that you can do. I'm going to walk on over here and show people that don't have this yet, and there is a video on the YouTube channel on how to use this. And this will help take pressure off the base of the neck as well, and we'll go into the chiropractic stuff next month as well. So you just rest your arms just like this, and you do your chin up, and then straight ahead, and then you can just relax just a little. That's a little more advanced. If you just want to keep that pressure right there, you just go like this. That helps increase that curve in your spine, especially in the cervical spine there, and that's going to help get that head directly over the shoulders, and that's going to help have more relaxation in those muscles, because if you have tension on the brachial plexus that comes out of the base of the neck here, that's going to cause numbness, tingling in the shoulders and the fingers, all kinds of upper extremity problems, but that's also going to affect your vision. All right, now I also wanted to say, as a thank you, I'm not quite done yet, but as a thank you, everyone's going to get a copy of my latest book. You don't need glasses or contacts. It is available on Amazon.com right now.